Honourable member for Calgary-Currie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, despite what this government claims, the case for massive transmission development is anything but proven. Two professors of economics and engineering at the University of Calgary yesterday put out a scholarly paper stating that the power lines between Edmonton and Calgary, the ones that the government wants to force on Alberta consumers, the ones that the government wants to call critical transmission infrastructure, are, quote, an overbuild that is not warranted by economics, unquote. In a proper regulatory system, of course, these opinions would be heard by the regulator and would influence the regulator's decision. To the Minister of Energy, why do you want to cut experts such as these out of the regulatory process?
Honourable Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to be clear about one thing, and that is that the Government of Alberta did not proclaim anything about critical infrastructure. It's AESO. AESO is an independent group of about 250 technicians and engineers that have the ability and the resources to determine what is necessary for the electrical transmission system and the electrical system, generally speaking, in the province of Alberta. I didn't determine this. AESO determined it. Relative to the situation with the HVDC, Mr. Speaker, what I will say is that there are many people with differing opinions relative to what technology should be employed.
Honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, which would make a good case for continuing to have those regulators express their those experts express their opinions in front of the regulator that this minister wants to do away with. You know, this government isn't willing to hear experts who disagree. Its favourite approach is instead to spend taxpayer money to manipulate public opinion. Yesterday, this minister doggedly refused to answer my very simple question about the government's pro-Bill 50 propaganda campaign. The government is spending taxpayers' dollars trying to convince Albertans that they just have to pay billions of dollars for new transmission lines. It's time to answer the question, Mr. Minister. How much is this costing?
Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, you know, I'm not exactly sure what it is that the honourable member would like me to answer. If he wants me to answer the question around how much of AESO's budget is expended giving Albertans information that they desire and need relative to this system, Mr. Speaker, I guess I could, you know, make some attempt to find out what number that would be. But, Mr. Speaker, I have to tell you that as far as the whole business is concerned about who is putting information in front of the public and who isn't, I think at this point in time it would be fair to say that almost every stakeholder is putting information in front of consumers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But Jesus, this is funny. Not every stakeholder is spending hundreds of thousands of taxpayers' dollars advertising on radio, on television, and in the newspaper. The minister dodged my question yesterday when he would not state in this assembly how much this propaganda campaign is costing. To the minister, how many taxpayer dollars are you spending on advertising on this pro-Bill 50 campaign? Simple enough for you?
Honourable Minister of Energy.
Well, Mr. Speaker, again, I don't know what constitutes advertising. Apparently, he's an expert in the field. So perhaps if he would like to, you know, if he'd like to send me a letter that indicates which pieces of this stuff he considers to be information for consumers and which pieces he considers to be advertising, you know, perhaps what we could do for him then, you know, he's the expert on advertising, told me that yesterday. So that's fine. If he's the expert, let him tell me which pieces are advertising and which pieces are distributing information that Albertans want.
Honourable